My dad was fucking weird. He did all kinds of just bizarre shit that I couldn't explain it. I didn't know why he would do shit like that. One time, he shot a squirrel out of our backyard there in Georgia, Valdosta, Georgia. Killed it, you know.
Yeah.
He then beheaded it and skinned it and just put it on a plate and stuck it in the fridge. And then when my mom got home, she opened up the fridge and found it.
Oh my God.
And it freaked her the fuck out. But yeah, he was always doing like bizarre shit like that. Like he caught a bunch of catfish once.
Yeah.
And we had this little garden in the backyard, you know, with like broccoli and shit like that. He caught all these catfish. And for some fucking reason, he just nailed them to a board and hung them up in the garden.
Why?
I've never figured out if that's like a weird gardening trick or some shit, but it stank so bad over near the garden. We did not go in that part of the yard for like months, because that's how long they were there.
Oh, God.
Literally months, just fucking going rancid in the sun.
Gross.
Yeah, it was really fucking nasty. He would, like, get drunk and get into bar fights. One time he ripped a guy's ear off. Although, sometimes having a really fucking scary dad can be beneficial, because he took us to a haunted house once.
Oh, shit.
You know, if you've ever been to a haunted house, usually they'll have, like, the guy with the chainsaw, and it makes a lot of noise, but it doesn't actually have, like, any blades on it or anything.
Yeah.
So the chainsaw guy pops out and is like, rah! Or wait, no, was it, like, maybe it was a guy in a werewolf mask or something. Anywho, it was one of those scary dudes. So scary dude pops out, you know, tries to scare us kids, and my dad just starts going, "Rah!" right back at him, and the dude looked like legitimately terrified. And I was like, whoa, what the fuck?
That's awesome.
My dad's actually kind of cool.
Scary.
And then, like, later on in the haunted house, there was this lady, like, lying on the couch just making these weird moaning noises, and he said some fucking gross shit like, "Hey, having a good time there, darling?"
Oh, God.
Which, like, made the people in line behind us start laughing, and I didn't get it. I was, like, 8 years old, you know, so whatever. My dad was a fucking very bizarre man.
Mine, too. Man, I don't know. Like, my dad, like, he used to wear, like, hoochie daddy shorts, go outside and grill. Like, no, seriously, like, back in, like, the 80s, those teeny tiny little shorts and, like, those little crop tops, you know. I don't know. He would just go out there and, like, fucking grill in his, like, little fucking
Gucci daddy shorts?
Yeah, he did. They had those fucking, they were like Daisy Dukes. Like the
the
bottoms.
cutoffs?
Yeah, the bottoms of his pockets would be hanging out.
jorts?
Yeah. That's how my dad would roll, like fucking 1985.
My dad did that, too.
Oh, man.
He had a big old
80s.
mustache.
My dad did, too.
Of course, he was Italian, so, you know.
My dad's just some native dude.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of your dad when he was younger with his braids and stuff.
And he did not look like Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't.
Your dad looked like Snoop Dogg.
God damn it.
He totally
Does
did.
not.
I could just imagine him baking a cake with Martha Stewart.
Sumo Punk, Sumo Punk, Sumo Punk, Sumo Punk. Sumo Punk, Sumo Punk, Sumo Punk, Sumo Punk. Sumo Punk, Sumo Punk, Sumo Punk, Sumo Punk. Sumo Punk, Sumo Punk, Sumo Punk, Sumo Punk.
This is Matt, and this was not recorded on a MacBook Pro. This was made using freeware.
That's right. And this is Sabrina, and I can't figure out how to use my DAW. Somebody please email me help.
And
this is Sumo Punks. Man, I've been trying for months to figure that shit out. I got this fancy new
That MIDI
MIDI
controller.
keyboard and just can't fucking, I've tried Reaper, I've tried FL Studio, I've tried, okay, you know, our listeners probably don't even know what I'm talking
Or
about.
Bitwig.
Yeah, Bitwig, that's the one that came with it. But
Hey, don't fear the Reaper.
shut up. But yeah, if any of our listeners know what the fuck a DAW is and know how to use one, hit me up. MacBook Pro. What the fuck? Do I look like the kind of person who would have a MacBook Pro?
I don't know.
Anyway, welcome to day 6 through 10 of the Nagoya Basho, and holy fuck. You know, I feel like I say that every Basho now. Holy shit, holy damn, what's going on with this Basho? Oh my god. We'll get to that in just a moment. But first, we've noticed there's a lot of very exciting amateur sumo events coming up.
Lots.
Why don't you tell us about it?
Lots and lots. First on the agenda, Iron Wave Sumo Club's Iron Belly 2, the sequel.
The sequel.
Orlando, Florida. So Saturday, August 6th at noon local time in Orlando.
Ooh, and then the next one is the big one.
The former Komusubi Gagamaru,
Gagamaru!
along with current European champion Amaran Sakuridze, will be holding a sumo seminar in Pantego, Texas, which is basically Arlington.
Basically just Arlington.
It's at the Arlington School of Self-Defense on Sunday, August 28th from 1 to 5 p.m. This event is hosted by Dallas Sumo Club and Dark Circle Sumo Club in collaboration with Inside Sport Japan. Tickets are on sale at Eventbrite, and you could find the link for that in the Dallas Sumo Club Instagram page bio or on the Facebook event page, which you could find when you just look up Dallas Sumo Club. We will probably be posting the link as well, or just email us. We'll help you find it.
Or DM us, or tweet us, or whatever.
Yeah.
We'll definitely hook you up. If you reach out to us, we'll make sure you get all the information you need.
Hell yeah. And then the Consulates Cup at Dreamland in Dripping Spring, Texas. That's
That
like
just
in
sounds
the
nasty.
it's in the Austin area.
Oh, okay.
It's cool out there. I really like it down there. Saturday, September 3rd at 11 a.m. local time, Consulates Cup. We're going to be there.
Oh, yeah, we're definitely going to be there. And you're going to be competing, aren't you?
I am.
I am not going to be competing since I've only been to, 4 Keikos at this point?
Yeah, well,
So-
you could if you wanted to.
I don't know. I might slap on a mawashi and
Fuck it.
let a bunch of ladies beat me up.
Okay, then we have the U.S. Sumo Open at Walter Pyramid in Long Beach, California, Saturday, September 10th at 2 p.m. local time. That's the tournament. That one's got all the videos on YouTube, you know, all the ads everywhere. That's the one. And then the Beer City Sumo Open at City Built Brewing Company in Grand Rapids, Michigan. That is Saturday, October 1st, noon, local time. And from what I've read, I think they're going to have a clay dojo. So
Like an actual, they're building a clay dojo.
that's just what the thing I read said. That'd be really fucking
It's
cool.
not going to be like the weird dojo they had at the World Games where it was wood on the outside
I
and
don't
then
know.
clay
I
in the
mean-
middle. It's going to be all clay?
I don't know. We'll ask.
I don't know. We can hit
we should
those
ask
guys
him.
up. Yeah.
We should.
Then there's, I think, one more after that in October.
The All-American Sumo Classic at the Mr. America Sports Festival in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Saturday, October 8th at noon local time. That one is Sumo Dan.
That's gonna be the one to wear your hoochie daddy shorts to. So we've got loads of events coming up all over the country.
Everywhere.
Anyone, anywhere in the U.S. can find a sumo-related event for amateurs that they can go to and have a great time, provided the plague hasn't ramped up again.
And if you just want to play it fucking hard mode, go to every single one of them. Just hitchhike there.
And if you're in jail, break out. I also wanted to talk about this really fucking cool dude who is an artist that is around in the sumo sphere. He goes by the screen name Movie Mulligan.
Yeah.
He illustrates these just wicked ass pictures of various pro rikishi. He's done a few amateur sumo wrestlers. He's done cool murals and stuff. He's done turtles.
Yeah, the Ninja Turtles as sumo wrestlers are some of my favorite stuff. His rendition of Abi has like this long-limbed, toothy creature. That one was great.
Like an Abi Slender Man or something. I don't know.
Pretty much. That was scary.
He
but I
did
loved
those
it.
a keychain Yama.
The keychain Sayama.
Yeah, it's an Akisayama keychain, and it just says "fuck your abs."
I love it. I have one.
Yes, we do have one. And then he recently came out with the teeny tiny Takakeisho pins.
That has the earwormiest jingle ever.
Yes. He posted this on his Instagram page. He sings this little jingle for it. It is just the cutest, most adorable thing. And I get it stuck in my head all the time. And we just saw on our Instagram, this motherfucker drew a picture of us.
It's fucking great. I
Of
love it.
the sumo punks. These fuckers sitting right here talking to you right now. And it is just blowing my mind. We literally just saw it like 2 minutes ago. Movie Mulligan, whatever the hell your real name is. What is it, like Dave?
David.
Or
Dave?
something?
Sorry. Not trying to
I
out
don't know.
you, dude. Sorry.
Send us a DM. We'll figure it out.
But
Thank you so much, though.
Seriously,
Holy
that's
shit,
so
dude.
fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And go buy his teeny tiny Takakeisho pins.
Yes, or at least listen to the jingle. It will get stuck in
The
your
jingle's fucking great.
head. Well, now after all that excitement, unfortunately, we do also have some kind of sad news. The former Yokozuna and Oyakata of Magaki stable, Wakanohana Kanji II, had passed away on July 16th at the age of 69. Wakanohana had quite an influence on Grand Sumo as we now know it, becoming Yokozuna in 1978 at the age of 25. And in 1983, he opened the Magaki stable, which was actually the stable that Tarano Fuji got his start at, staying with Magaki for the first 2 years of his professional career. He was also quite a controversial figure. He ended up marrying his own stable master's daughter, then divorcing her and losing his stable master's elder stock. He endured scandals involving cannabis use by one of his wrestlers. He got punished for abuses and hazing at his stable, just all kinds of mess. In 2010, Wakanohana, along with 5 other Oyakata, were forced out of the Ishinoseki Ichiban for supporting Takanohana's bid for election to the JSA Board of Directors. And you had said there was some sort of protocol that he had to go through for that, but...
Something. I just read, they just said
and
that
that's why it was controversial?
That he was unsanctioned or something like that.
Yeah, it said unsanctioned, the information that we found about it. But due to his failing health, he was finally forced to close Magaki stable in 2013, which was then completely demolished so they could put up an apartment complex.
Well, you know who the new Magaki Oyakata is now.
Oh yeah, the former Yokozuna Hakuho.
So, there's more Magaki stuff going on the horizon.
Possibly. I was reading that John Gunning article on the Japan Times about it, where he said that if Hakuho decides to go ahead and keep with that and open up his own stable, then it sounded like it's essentially going to be a continuation of that Magaki stable. It's not going to be in the same building anymore because now it's an apartment complex, but... Man, we, I think, talked a little bit about his son on one of our earlier episodes. It was the Valentine's Day episode, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was...
About their love lives. Their very public love lives.
Very, turbulent times, for sure. And speaking of turbulent times... We've got to talk about days 6 through 10 because this has been a runaway train of a Basho. I feel like we say that. We've said that for the last, 2 or 3 Bashos now?
Now, this one really is a catastrophe. Everyone is pulling out left and right. Everyone's getting
COVID, yeah.
Fucking scary. And everyone's, miles away from home in fucking Nagoya where it's, all hot and fucking humid.
Yeah, everybody in the audience has their fans out. People are slipping on the doyo. Everyone's mawashis are coming undone. It's pandemonium.
Slippy Atoshis everywhere.
So we're going to go ahead and talk about some of the notable bouts, especially the really notable ones from days 6 through 10. Why don't you go ahead and get us started with day 6?
Day 6. Dayamami came back after being Kyujo on days 4 and 5.
That's my guy.
He pulled a mean Hikiotoshi on Oho to score his first win of the Basho.
I'm so glad that he's back. And I mean, he hasn't been doing that well, but he is one of my fantasy sumo picks.
Those wins add up.
That's true. That is true. But, he could still have a few more of them.
Yeah.
I think his ankle may still be bothering him.
And then Tsurugisho totally manhandled Chiyashoma for his second win of the Basho. Chiyashoma's just such a tricksy hobbit. It was oddly satisfying seeing him flush down the toilet like that.
He's 6 feet tall. I'd hardly call him a hobbit.
All right, well, I mean...
He's like if two hobbits stood on each other's shoulders, or one hobbit stood on the shoulders of another, But then if that happened, which one of them would you put the mawashi on? Would they each wear a mawashi? Would you just tie the mawashi around, the feet of the top one and the face of the lower one? How would you even do that?
I guess he's more he reminds me more of Gollum than I guess a hobbit.
Gollum is a former hobbit.
Well, a halfling. Well, we won't get to the particulars.
Brush up on your Tolkien lore.
Whatever. Shit. Anyway.
Moving along.
Midori Fuji almost got Koto Shoho with the pull down, but Omonoe determined his butt hit the clay before Koto Shoho's belly did. It was a rare Abise Taoshi win for Koto Shoho.
Sounds like a contender for our rare Kimarite award.
Tochinoshin and Kotoeko spent most of their match swing dancing around the dohyo in the hostile embrace before fighting for a throw at the Tawara. Just as it looked like Tochinoshin may have had him, Kotoeko literally got the upper hand when he unhooked Tochi's arm from over his shoulder, slammed his ass to the clay.
Oof.
Wakamoto Haru takes several slaps to the face, but manages to push Aoyama out as he was attempting to pull him down, sending Aoyama rolling like a cheese wheel into the crowd.
Have you ever seen, I think it's a town somewhere in Wales or Scotland or
where they
some
fucking
shit.
roll down the hill and chase cheese. It's like they roll the cheese and then they roll down after the cheese.
They have wheels of cheese and they roll them down this hill and then people break their ankles and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Running down this hill after this cheese.
It's a fucking thing. No, I'm all about that shit. I want to go run with that fucking cheese. I shit you not. I'm going to do that someday.
And then the only prize is you get to keep the cheese.
Well, I'm sure someone would want it, but
You're lactose intolerant.
I know. I still want to roll with the cheese. I could roll with it.
Give it as a gift to someone.
I don't have to eat it. I'm just going to roll with it. Koto no Waka has been leaving a path of destruction, and among the debris was the knob dog, Takanosho.
I don't get the knob dog thing.
It was something on a Kesho Mawashi that he had. It was just this little Shiba Inu. It kind of had little eyebrows like him, and it just said knob dog.
Okay, because I know one of our followers on Twitter had asked us to follow him during this Basho.
She called him the Knob Dog.
Yeah, she referred to him as Knob Dog, and I was like, I don't get it. So you figured it out. It was the Keshimawashi.
Yeah,
okay.
it's great. Now he's forever the Knob Dog
the
to
Knob
me.
Dog. Oh, okay, continue.
So the Knob Dog put his whole being into it, but the wicked Koto no Waka dashed his dreams with the flick of the wrist. Uwatanage victory for Koto no Waka. But a withdrawal on day 7 from Takanosho, who suffered a shoulder injury from this bout.
Aw, poor guy.
One of my favorite bouts of day 6 was Wakataka Kage versus Kiribaiyama. It was just so much action. Kiribaiyama was overflowing with power and technique. Wakataka Kage was just as vicious. Both went for a throw at the Tawara, but Kiribaiyama collapsed under the weight of Wakataka Kage's technique. Ichinojo outmuscled the Ozeki Matakayumi, who's still floundering with his injured shoulder. Ichi, however, has been dominating this Basho. And Tarano Fuji rolled Tamawashi like a goddamn bowling ball and sent him tumbling off the dohyo.
But not like a cheese wheel.
Not like a cheese wheel.
All right, go ahead and give us day 7.
Day 7, Ichi Yamamoto demolished Dayamami.
It's Dayamami's second day back, and it still looks like maybe he's feeling that ankle. He's kind of avoiding putting much pressure on it, I've noticed.
I don't blame him. Midori Fuji's Hikiotoshi on hapless Myogiru was a thing of beauty. The match lasted literally less than a second. Terutsuyoshi delivers a brutal kick to Kotoeko's right calf, which somehow seemed to have no effect. They stand at a stalemate for a bit, and then Kotoeko puts that little shit in his place right outside the ring.
See, we often talk about how kicks are technically allowed in sumo, at least on, certain areas of the body. And this just kind of proves it. True, you can't spine kick someone to death like Nomi no Sukune did, but it still happens. But damn, Coach Ueko, he must be
He's muscle.
really
You've seen
working
him.
out them calves, because he did not even flinch.
Tarano Umi braces as Tochinoshin tries to yank him down. They gets a grip on Tochi's belt, which starts to unravel, threatening to reveal his Caucasus. Luckily, the Georgian did what he does best and lifted Tarano Umi to carry him out like a sack of potatoes before fixing his slipping mawashi and avoiding a potential mishap.
This isn't the first time there's a potential mawashi mishap in this Basho, though.
Wakamoto Haru then played slap and push with Tobizaru until he got bored, stepped to the side, and let Tobizaru's momentum send him charging over the edge of the dohyo. Ichinojo versus Shodai.
Ooh.
How do you think this one will go?
I think that my boy Shodai is gonna do really good because he's special and nice. But you can go ahead and tell me.
Shodai meets Ichinojo head-on, manages to avoid his attempts at the belt, and lets him slip past to get behind the behemoth, disorienting him and pushing him out for an Oshidashi victory.
Yeah! That's my Shodai.
Abi catches Takakeisho by the neck and flops his meat out of the dohyo like a dead fish. This is the second Ozeki Abi has bested so far this Basho. That was my favorite Kimarite this whole Basho so far. He just flipped his ass.
Yeah.
Poor Takakeisho.
Abi's getting better. He really is.
He's not just a one-trick pony.
Not anymore, anyway.
Yeah. And speaking of dead fish, Tarano Fuji had Ura hooked by both arms when he tried to pull a Kataskashi, but Teru simply just bowled him forward and toppled him backward out of the ring.
Yeah, he did the very Ura thing of just tumbling around a bit. Now we're getting into day 8. Dai Shoho rolled up from Juryo to meet Onosho on the dohyo. It literally looked like he had him with that pole at first, but the Gyoji called it for Onosho. No mono-y, but when we watched the replay a couple of times, we decided the Gyoji verdict probably stood due to Daishoho's foot landing outside the ring mere milliseconds before Onosho's knee met the ground.
Teeny tiny little milliseconds.
It was just really split second. And that brings us to Oho, who showed maximum fortitude as Chiyomaru tried to grab him by the face for a pull down. They clashed like floral and leopard print or something. Until Oho dropped the Morizashi on Chiyomaru and pumped him out.
Pumped.
Chiyoshima tries his trademark henka, but everyone knows his shit by now, and Nishiki Fuji gets a clear grab at the mawashi and never breaks his grip until he throttles the dastardly Chiyoshima out of the ring. We really expected Toshinoshin and Midori Fuji to be quite an entertaining match, but it was actually over pretty quickly. Tochinoshin simply swatted Midori Fuji off balance and out of the ring like a naughty cat knocking your favorite fragile futanari figurine off of a high shelf just to watch it shatter. What are you giggling at?
Futanari figurine.
We got a show to continue. Kota no Waka was easily able to escort Ichinojo out. Ichi is either running out of steam or meeting much tougher opponents in week 2. I can't really tell which. What do you think?
I think maybe a little bit of column A, a little column B, because he had some pretty fucking tough bouts his first week.
True.
But I don't know. I think that he's really going to be running into some really hardcore competition on week 2, so...
We'll see what happens, especially with all the Rikishi that have had to drop out. Who knows? Some of them were some of the top guys, too. But we'll get to that in a minute. Very technical, grapple-heavy exchange with Hoshori versus Kiribaiyama. Their limbs entangled like the antlers of a couple of horny elk. But it was Hoshoryu who got the cow with a Yoritaoshi victory. Tamawashi goes right for the neck of Shodai off the Tachi-ai, super aggressive, and Shodai takes it all the way to the Tawara until he finds an opportunity to start pushing Tamawashi back. Tamawashi has his left arm locked up and starts pulling, which is just what Shodai needs to push him backwards and out of the ring. Because Shodai knows exactly what he's doing. He's doing his own brand of sumo. This is what he likes to do, no matter what anybody says, and he's still Ozeki.
She's just gloating about her boyfriend.
Shut up. And that brings us to the
shit
other
show.
thing that everybody's talking about from the last 5 days of this Basho. Wakamoto Haru versus Tarano Fuji on day 8. A lot of confusion over what happened in the bout between the Yokozuna and the Maegashira. It was quite a long match, and many people may have noticed that Wakamoto Haru's mawashi had started to come loose. The two wrestlers stood at a stalemate for quite some time, and then Wakamoto Haru starts to drive Tarano Fuji out. At the exact same time, the Gyoji had actually been trying to indicate to the wrestlers that they should pause the match. So there are a couple of different reasons why a Gyoji will pause a match, and in this case, it could have been either so that Wakamoto Haru could fix his loosening mawashi belt, or because the match was going on much longer than usual, which at a certain point would prompt a water break. Most likely, it was the mawashi belt issue, however. A Gyoji will indicate the pause, usually by tapping each rikishi on the shoulder, and then after the break, they will put both of them back in the exact same position they were in before the break was called. But this is something that's usually done during a lull in the action, not while aggressive maneuvers are being made by either rikishi. In this case, however, Tarano Fuji noticed what the Gyoji was indicating, but Wakamoto Haru did not seem to notice. So as Tarano Fuji began to relax his stance for the break, he was driven out. This caused so much fucking confusion. The Gyoji made no indication of who was the winner and simply indicated that both rikishi should meet him back in the middle of the doyo. No one seemed to know what was going on at all, really. Even the Yobidashi ran up onto the doyo with the money, but then stopped and was like, oh wait, what's going on? Huh? What? The Shimpans took forever to do anything about the situation, not even getting up off their asses immediately. They kind of just sat there for a little while looking around. The Gyoji is just kind of standing there with this extremely disgruntled look on his face, like, y'all gonna come talk to me about this or what?
There was a complete lack of gruntle.
Yes. So disgruntled, the gruntle could not be found. Well, Shodai ended up assisting Wakamoto Haru with fixing his mawashi, while the Gyoji and the Shimpans took another forever to discuss the issue. The Gyoji at one point gets kind of annoyed with the Shimpans not really understanding what's going on, so he calls Tarano Fuji over to explain that, yes, he saw what the Gyoji was trying to tell them, and he knew he was indicating to stop. And then there's some more Gyoji and Shimpan deliberation. Now Tarano Fuji is just kind of standing there with his hands on his hips, just completely over the whole thing.
Completely over it.
And all this fuss eventually just resulted in a rematch that Tarano Fuji wins.
What was it like rematch? They put him back in that same position they were in and then just started him, but...
Exactly. So it was, I guess you could say, the correct continuation of the match that they had already done.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Who knows? I mean, did the Gyoji just not see how loose the mawashi had gotten? Because he could have indicated a pause earlier when they were just kind of standing there, but he waited.
I'm wondering if maybe he just didn't see the severity of it. Maybe he had like a bad angle, and then once he saw the extent of it is when he tried to stop it.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really notice if he tried to yell anything at them, because Gyojis are always running around yelling stuff. Yell something at them to specifically indicate indicate that they need to pause the
It was
match.
like right as it's like almost simultaneous with because you could see his hands because he was slapping Tarano Fuji and Wakamoto Haru like on both of their arms, like he slapped both of them at the same time. But Tarano Fuji saw him approaching to slap both of their arms, like and Wakamoto Haru did not perceive him at all. So Tarano Fuji was like, "Oh, he's telling us to stop," and just kind of relaxed.
Yeah, because he was facing Tarano Fuji, but Wakamoto Haru was facing away from him.
And then he had
also when you're just in the moment, you kind of don't notice.
He already began his charge whenever like the hand hit him. And then there was even like little pillows flying around and the crowd was like just hopeful.
Yeah.
In fact, watching that unfold, I was like, wait, oh shit, did he just wait a minute? So now no indication of the winner, and the Yobadashi guy with the money just came up and was just visibly confused.
The thing is, from what I've heard, and I'm the first to admit I am not an expert on this shit, it's not something that you would try to do while there are aggressive maneuvers being made. So while there is action happening, it's not advised that a Gyoji or anyone, I guess, try to pause the match. So a lot of people are saying, well, he should have done it when they were just standing there. But then if he didn't see how bad the damage was, what's he gonna fucking do? You know?
And I think that's what he was. I think that's how he's playing it, you know. Like, hey, man, I did what I did. I did what I did as I saw it, so fuck you guys.
This is, like, the senior Gyoji, isn't it?
Yeah, the Tate Gyoji.
Yeah, this is, like, the top guy. He knows what he's doing. Shit just happens sometimes. Nobody's perfect.
Exactly.
Okay? Nobody. Doesn't matter how long you've been doing something. Doesn't matter how much of an expert you are. Everybody makes mistakes.
Shit just
Everybody
happens.
stumbles every once in a while. We are all just human.
And we actually saw like a Chris Sumo video about this on YouTube. It was like kind of dissected everything. And I know Chris Sumo, like, you know, just kind of likes to play things from certain angles, but I don't know. I really like the video.
Yeah, well, he actually gets to watch these matches like up close and personal.
Yeah.
So it is a pretty interesting video though, so, you know, go check that out if you get a chance. We're moving on to day 9 now. Day 9, Takara Fuji demolished Oho with his Tina Turner legs.
Yes.
Teratsuyoshi uproots Dayamami with an Ashitori leg pick, and then Leprechaun hops off the dojo.
I'm totally gonna do that to you the next time you're in my way in our tiny ass kitchen. Just Leprechaun hop over to the damn fridge.
Do it. I dare you. I would love to see that. Especially since you're like a whole foot taller than me. Midori Fuji leaps fearlessly into battle against Nishikigi, aggro as fuck until they clinch up. Nishikigi's brute force is able to bulldoze the bulldog right out of the ring.
Fucking forklift certified ass Nishikigi.
Chiyotairyu throttles Tochinoshin and then pancakes him. Toch looked fucking pissed.
Chiyotairyu's gonna wake up with a fucking horse head in his bed for that shit.
Shimanumi and Tobizaru spend the majority of the bout trying to give each other a high-speed massage. Tobizaru then grabs Shimanumi by his sideburns, kicks him in the leg, and pulls his ass down for a Hitakekomi victory.
Man, that kick was no joke, though. I looked like that fucking hurt. It
A lot
like
of kicks
rattled
in this
his
tournament.
fucking. Oh no! That looked like it just rattled his leg.
It really kind of did. Hokuto Fuji and Sadanumi both just kind of melt into each other shortly after they start. But since Hokuto Fuji melted relatively on top, he ends up winning the match.
It just kind of looked like they just need air conditioning.
Yeah.
It's just so hot.
Man, Nagoya this time of year. And that brings us to Ura, who should have probably been a ballerina or something, because he sure is good at twirling. But then again, Daisho may have given him a run for his money there too. He twirled Ura off the doyo and then did a little victory twirl of his own.
I cannot stop thinking of Ura as a ballerina now.
This is little pink mawashi and just like a little tutu underneath
Just so
it.
nimble.
Then we have Abi, who's like a goddamn vampire, always going for the neck. And that's exactly what he did against Shodai, but this time trying something a little bit different, throwing in a headbutt to Shodai's chest like an enraged billy goat.
It's like,
But you see, Shodai can take a lot of abuse, and that's exactly what he did until he was sure Abi had used up all of his spatial awareness, as he is known to do, and simply slapped Abi down for a Tsukiotoshi victory, becoming the only Ozeki Abi did not beat at this Basho. And then that brings us to Taco Queso, who must have been thinking about lunchtime because he slapped down Wakamoto Haru with the quickness.
Taco queso, god damn it.
For those who don't get it, that is Taco Queso. I've been calling him Taco Queso for the last couple of days because it sends Matt into giggle fits.
God damn it.
Why don't you go ahead and tell us what happened on day 10?
Day 10, Nishiki Fuji faces off against Meisei. They bonk heads, slap each other around, literally try grappling around to each corner of the dohyo for a throw attempt until they eventually lock up. Nishiki Fuji keeps tugging Meisei's mawashi up further and further until it almost reaches his nipples. And then, when the action started back up, I swear I saw a little bit of bush.
You mean like W?
Little bush. Yeah, but you know, I don't know. There was bush involved. But Meisei took that awesome pube power to pancake Nishiki Fuji, looking absolutely exhausted at the end.
Pube power.
Tsurugisho Morizashi's Kotoweko right off the bat. Kotoweko is trying to swing his whole body around to loosen Tsurugisho's grip, but it was too late. He was already hemmed up, and Tsurugisho gently plops Kotoweko outside of the ring. The heat must be getting to everyone because Tsurugisho did his little squat and swipe and then just dismounted the dohyo without collecting his money.
I don't know, that envelope looked pretty thin. Maybe he was just like, that ain't even enough cash to be concerned about.
Yeah.
I bet he's got those Yakuza funds.
You never know. Tochinoshin trips over Terutsuyoshi, who went way low for a leg pick and finds his meat thoroughly flopped by Terutsuyoshi's victorious Ashitori. Toch has 9 inches and 125 pounds on Terutsuyoshi.
Damn, that's like a whole porno wiener.
God damn it. I'm a porno wiener taller than you. God damn it.
No, you're like a nightmare wiener taller than me. You're a whole 12 inches taller.
I'm not measuring things in wieners.
Why not? The British started measuring with other body parts. Now they forced us to use... Never mind.
We're
Go
5
ahead.
wieners long. Okay. Nishikigi is the Samwise Gamgee to Chiyoshoma's Gollum.
God.
Tosses his ass into the fires of Mount Doom.
These fucking Lord of the Rings metaphors have got to stop.
No.
This is getting out of hand.
Nishikigi did it for the Shire. God damn it.
This is seriously getting out of hand.
Oh,
He's not Gollum, okay?
Yes. Chiyoshoma is dastardly Gollum.
This
Aoyama.
has to end. Okay, go ahead. Tell us about Aoyama.
Aoyama charges at Hokuto Fuji like an angry bear, twice almost pushing him out until Hokuto Fuji knocks him off balance and out of the ring. The judges call a mono-ii for that brief moment when it looked like Hokuto Fuji may have stepped out, but the replay showed that he maintained his footing on the Tawara to win the match. Just twinkle toed, just nimble. Ichinojo and Tamawashi muscle each other around until they both fall out of the ring, Tamawashi flipping backward off the dohyo. But when you look at the replay, you can clearly see the top of Ichinojo's foot dragging across the ground before the side of Tamawashi's leg lands. I think that could be the dead body rule.
I don't know. It seems like they pull out that rule for some people and then they don't pull it out for other people.
I don't know. Even I've seen it at the amateur level. You know, like at nationals in Salt Lake City, there was like a case of the dead body rule. I think
Really?
it has to be if someone had executed a technique. And then the person that's, you know, they have completely lost control of their body, like they're airborne.
Like
or
there's
something.
no way that they can catch themselves.
Yeah, so even if it's something like that, if the person that executed the finishing move, you know, is falling and they put their hand out to catch themselves, if their opponent is like in that, what they call it, the shinitai, if they're meeting that shinitai criteria, they'll call it for the, even though he landed first, putting his hand out, they'll still call him the winner.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think there needs to be deeper discussion about the dead body rule because it's kind of a
Kind of a wishy-washy thing.
It's a gray area for
Yeah.
real. Hoshori gives Kotonowaka a taste of his perfect kakanage.
Oh, God.
Wakataka,
I forgot I wrote that line.
Wakataka Kage and Endo battle for grips until Endo tries to go in for the kill, gets spun around by the Waka, and then pushed off the dohyo. The undulating Ura was no match for Shodai as the Ozeki shoved him out by his neck for a Yori Taoshi win.
Nice.
Day 10 ends with Sarano Umi throwing himself against the wall that is Tarano Fuji. He ends the bout with the Makikoshi, and Tarano Fuji gains his Kachikoshi.
Sanumi is currently at Maegashira 5 West.
Yeah.
Is it typical for someone at that rank to go up against the Yokozuna?
I think he
Is
might...
it just because of all the COVID?
He might be on the
dropouts?
edge of the joy.
Is it?
Yeah, I think that might be the edge of the joy, but it could be, since everyone's out, they just kind of had to move him up a little bit.
Yeah, they've been moving guys up from Juryo because of
Yeah.
how, there's I think 10 Sekitoris or something like that.
Yeah, that does bring us to the next topic of COVID withdrawals.
Mm-hmm.
So many stables have had to withdraw from the Nagoya Basho due to COVID infection.
Mm-hmm.
When we started recording, we knew there were 5, but we just heard there are 2 more pulling out, so that's 7 stables now.
7 stables now.
An article in Nikon Sports states that 125 wrestlers have had to withdraw from the tournament, which is around 20%, because there's currently 627 total, with 10 of them being in the Sekitori ranks. We already knew that Takayasu had to withdraw when the wrestlers at Taganori's stable started testing positive right before the Basho started, but just in the last few days, there have been Deiwana Umi, which is Mataki Yumi's stable, Naruto stable, which the Juryo Rikishi Oshoma is in, Ichiyamamoto stable, Hana Ragoma, which sucks because Ichiyamamoto was one of the top contenders up until this point for the Yusho, Musashigawa stable, and the 2 most recent that we just started talking about before recording was Tamanoi stable, knocking out Juryo 2 East and West, Tohakuryu and Azumaryu, and Sarogatake stable, which includes Makuuchi wrestlers Koto Ueko, Koto Shoho, and Koto Nowaka.
Which Koto Nowaka was at like 7-3, very close to his Kachikoshi. So if he ends up losing his rank, that's gonna fucking suck.
I know.
And that's another thing too, because we've been hearing that they might not be freezing people's ranks for all these COVID withdrawals. There have been rumors going around that Deiwana Umi's stable dropped out because of Mataki Yumi's injury, and that was all engineered, which is fucking bullshit because Japan is experiencing like its highest spike in COVID cases right now.
Yeah.
Why would anybody think that they would have to engineer that? Damn near half the country's got COVID.
Yeah, you see that in the Twitterverse, people just talking shit, saying, well, they just did that so Mataki Yumi wouldn't lose face.
Some people are just so cynical.
I know.
I mean, I know I wanted to talk, but it's such bullshit, though. But if that's what they're thinking, because I know that had been an issue before with stuff like injuries, right? If that's what the JSA is thinking, like, oh, well, we're not going to freeze anybody's ranks because, you don't have COVID enough or something. I don't fucking know. That would just be so
the way that they just kind of take things on a case-by-case basis, just situation per situation, instead of like a full-on systemic change. It's just like, come on, guys. You could do better.
You'd think if the JSA actually cared about these guys, they'd at least start refunding the spectators' tickets so that the remaining Rikishi could complete the tournament with less of a chance, at least, of being infected. They're not even isolating anybody from other stables who they know have had recent contact with the infected ones because they literally had matches with them in the last week. There was the JSA chairman as well who said, like, oh, well, we're making them bathe right after matches. Like, that's even nearly enough to mitigate the risk. It's just, I mean, a lot of these guys have health issues, too, you know? I know it's not the same thing, but I can't help but think if something like this were happening, like in the NBA, people would be getting fucking sued.
Yeah.
They just would. That's just how we do it in America.
Yeah.
And like I said, I know it's different, but fuck, man. Are they really just going to keep going on like this?
Man, I'm just riding this train to the end, trying to see what the fuck is happening. It's just bizarro, you know. It's kind of like it's history in the making, really. If you look at it, they're gonna be like, "What the fuck was the Nagoya Basho of 2022?" Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, I think people will definitely be talking about this Basho for years to come. But at the same time, it's not just the entertainment value.
Yeah.
You know, these are people's lives that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Not just like their careers, but their literal lives. It is something they could die from. There's, like I said before, Rikishi who have health issues. There's Rikishi who have diabetes and various other stuff. There's way more at risk
And like sleep apnea and shit. You know?
Yeah, sleep apnea. There's so many more high risk people out there than people really realize, just because there's so many more chronically ill people out there than most people realize. You can't necessarily tell that somebody has certain health issues just by looking at them, you know?
And other more recent things, there's yet another withdrawal.
Oh, God.
The Asakayama stable, which includes Juryo 9 Kaisho. So that's just a few minutes ago.
That you just saw that on there?
Just saw that.
Oh, fucking hell.
Asakayama.
That's 8 stables now?
I think so, yeah.
That's got to be almost 150 Rikishi now by this point.
I think it's 8 out of 43.
Oh my God, that is just, you know, it probably shouldn't cause me to worry this much, but man, like I said, these are people.
Yeah.
You know, I'm really hoping that the JSA isn't just thinking about them dollar signs.
They're yen signs.
Oh yeah, well, true. Sorry, I got worked up, okay? I can't think straight when I'm all worked up.
Well, no matter what happens, we're just going to follow this fucking shit show all the way through to its dumpster fire conclusion.
Yeah, I really just hope that everyone who's gotten infected can recover safely and not have any sort of after effects, and that we will see them all again at the next tournament in September? In September.
All right, so that's the show.
Not to leave on a sour note, but
these are strange days.
These are very strange and bizarre days that, you know what, we're all just going to have to work together to get through it. You know where to find us. We're all over the social media. Punks is spelled with an X. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Sumo Punks. If you look for us on Twitter, it's Punks Sumo, because why?
You fucked it up.
I fucked up the Twitter. Check out our Redbubble shop where we have a couple of t-shirt designs up. Still working on getting some new ones on there. If you don't like t-shirts, get a sticker. Maybe a poster. I don't know what kind of shit's on there. I just make the designs. Yeah, sure. Get a fucking shower curtain. Who cares? You can also email us at sumopunks@gmail.com. Send us your hot takes on any social media. We're always here to hear it. And if you like the show, please remember to give us a rating, preferably 5 stars. And if you didn't like it, well, clearly you're just a poser. Till next time.
Bye.